Have you ever felt so powerless that it brought you to tears just because you couldn't take a few simple steps on your own 2 feet? If that sounds familiar, I want to share something with you. Not just a story, but a solution. One so simple, you'd never expect it to make a real difference. But it did, for me, and for a woman named Eleanor. Just a week ago, Eleanor's legs were swollen, heavy, and painfully stiff. Standing up from her favorite chair felt like dragging blocks of concrete. Her steps were slow, her sleep was restless, and that deep ache in her legs never seemed to go away. And the truth is, Eleanor's story isn't unique. It's something millions of people over 60 quietly live with every single day. But what happened next surprised everyone. In just 7 days, her legs felt lighter, the pain began to fade, and she moved more freely. She slept more peacefully, enjoyed a morning stroll without fear of falling, and no, she didn't take a new prescription, didn't go to the doctor, and didn't use any expensive machine. So, what did she do? That's exactly what I'm going to show you step by step. All Eleanor did was apply a simple oil to her legs each day. Just that, no pills, no machines. And believe it or not, it was something most people already have sitting quietly in their kitchen. A natural oil that's been used for centuries, yet somehow forgotten in today's world of prescriptions and medical devices. But what it did for her in just 1 week without stress, without side effects, was nothing short of remarkable. This video is for anyone who's tired of the daily battle with leg pain, swelling, and that nagging heaviness that never seems to go away. Because yes, you can feel light again. You can move easier. And it all starts with something as small and as powerful as this natural remedy. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to use it, what to expect day by day, and even 3 natural combinations to make the results even better. Before we move on, drop a comment below with your age and where you're watching from. And don't forget to subscribe to Health Mastery 365 so you never miss real, practical health tips that actually work. Now let's dig deeper. Why do our legs start to feel so heavy after 60? And what's really happening beneath the surface? Eleanor didn't wake up one morning with heavy, aching legs. It happened slowly, quietly. At first, it was just a dull soreness behind her knees after a short walk to the mailbox. Then, she noticed how her ankles puffed up by evening, even on days she barely moved. When she bent down to water her plants, her calves would tighten and cramp. In her early 70s, even getting out of her recliner required a kind of effort she never expected. And like so many women her age, Eleanor just assumed, well, maybe this is what aging feels like. But the truth? Her body had been sending quiet warnings for years. Her circulation was slowing down. The blood vessels that once moved blood easily were now stiff and narrow. Blood wasn't flowing down or back up as well as it used to. Without steady circulation, her legs were being starved of oxygen and nutrients. That's why they felt tired, heavy, weak, like they just couldn't keep up. As we age, the body becomes slower at clearing out waste. This leads to a buildup of excess substances that puts pressure on the legs and weakens them over time. That swelling didn't just feel uncomfortable. It made walking harder, her balance got worse, and her sleep became more restless. And let's not forget muscle loss. Without regular movement, the muscles in Eleanor's thighs and calves had been quietly shrinking. She wasn't lazy, just unaware, but weaker muscles meant more pressure on her joints and a much higher risk of falling. Still, it wasn't hopeless. Her body didn't need a miracle. It just needed the right kind of support, and Eleanor found that support in the most unexpected way. It was a quiet Tuesday afternoon when Eleanor came across the bottle. She hadn't been looking for it, just reorganizing her spice cabinet, something she hadn't touched in years. And there it was, a small glass bottle tucked behind the vinegar and dried oregano. She picked it up, read the faded label, and let out a soft smile. Rosemary oil. She remembered buying it ages ago after reading that it was good for sore muscles. But like so many things, it had been forgotten. That night, her legs were aching again, and instead of reaching for her usual heating pad, she paused and thought, why not? She rubbed a few drops of the rosemary oil between her palms, gently warming it. Then slowly, she massaged it into her calves and thighs. The scent alone changed the mood. Herbal, fresh, calming. But what happened next truly surprised her. Within minutes, a gentle warmth began to rise beneath her skin. Not a burning heat, just a soft, comforting sensation. Almost like her legs were waking up. That night, for the first time in weeks, Eleanor slept straight through without cramps, without discomfort. It's packed with powerful plant compounds like rosmarinic acid and antioxidants, natural agents that boost blood flow, soothe inflamed tissues, and ease muscle tension. In fact, ancient Greek and Roman healers used rosemary oil exactly this way for tired legs, stiff joints, and aching feet after long walks. What makes it so special is how quickly it works. It stimulates peripheral circulation, bringing blood back to the areas that need it most. The legs, ankles, and feet benefit the most. That extra blood flow can make a noticeable difference. And thanks to its natural anti-inflammatory properties, it also helps reduce swelling and soreness. Eleanor never expected much from that small bottle, but it turned out to be exactly the kind of support her body had been waiting for. The swelling from standing or sitting too long, that was part of the problem. But just as important was the peace it brought. The scent, the warmth, the ritual. For Eleanor, it became more than just a massage. It became a moment that belonged entirely to her. And if you're wondering exactly how she used this oil to get such surprising results, don't worry. I'm about to walk you through it step by step. Let's dive in. The best time to apply rosemary oil? Right after a warm shower. That's when your skin is clean, your pores are open, and your muscles are already a little relaxed. Eleanor would begin by holding the small bottle in her hands, warming it gently with her touch. If it felt too cold, she'd place it near a warm towel for a few moments. Then she'd pour 5 or 6 drops into her palm, rub her hands together, and take a long, steady breath. That scent-earthy, herbal, grounding felt like flipping a switch. It signaled to her body, this is your time now. She always began at her ankles, moving in slow, gentle circles upward, never rushing, never pressing too hard. Just firm, caring strokes up her calves, behind the knees, down the shins, and up again toward the thighs. Each leg took about 5 to 7 minutes. She matched her breathing with her hands. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. The rhythm became a quiet kind of meditation, a moment of peace in a noisy world. What worked best for her? Twice a day. Once in the morning to energize her legs for the day ahead, and once at night to release the pressure and tension built up after a long day. It only took 7 days to feel a real shift. And after that, Eleanor didn't stop. She simply adjusted. Sometimes once a day, sometimes only at night when her legs felt heavier. But it never felt like a chore. It became a rhythm like brushing her teeth or sipping tea before bed. And if you want to take it one step further, there are a couple of easy additions. Elevate your legs for 15 minutes on 2 pillows after massaging, or apply a warm towel for deeper relief. But above all, treasure the stillness. No phone, no television, just you, your hands, and your breath. When you slow down, something shifts. Not just in your body, but in your spirit too. And if you're wondering what happens after doing this for a full week, that's exactly what we'll explore now. What surprised Eleanor most wasn't just how her legs felt. It was how quickly they began to respond. By the end of the first week, things had changed in a way she hadn't experienced in years. Of course, every body is different, but many people report a similar rhythm of progress. Day 1 wasn't about pain relief. It was about presence. Taking time to massage her legs, breathe deeply, and focus inward. It made Eleanor feel lighter not physically, but emotionally. It reminded her, her body still mattered. She still mattered. Day 2 brought a subtle shift. Her legs felt less stiff when she stood up. And at night, no jolting leg cramps. She slept deeply and peacefully. Day 3 held a quiet surprise. As she moved through the house, Eleanor noticed something. She wasn't shuffling anymore. Her steps were smoother. Her feet no longer dragged. Yes, there was still some soreness, but the heaviness was finally lifting. By day 4, her skin looked healthier. The dryness and flakiness she used to ignore, replaced by a soft, natural glow. Her legs looked alive again, and that made her feel more alive too. Days 5 and 6 brought something new. Confidence. She stood taller, stepped off the curb without hesitation, even climbed the stairs without reaching for the railing. Then came day 7. Eleanor paused, looked down at her legs, and smiled. For the first time in years, they didn't feel like a burden. They felt like a part of her again. While those 7 days brought real change for Eleanor, some people experience even greater results when they explore other oil zones that better match their body's specific needs. Let's take a look at a few of the most effective options. Rosemary oil worked wonders for Eleanor, but it's not the only natural remedy out there. Depending on what your legs are going through, whether it's swelling, nighttime cramps, or visible veins, there may be another oil your body responds to even better. Let's start with one that people over 60 are beginning to rediscover: arnica oil. If your legs bruise easily, feel sore to the touch, or swell after walking or standing, this could be exactly what your body has been quietly asking for. Arnica comes from a bright yellow flower, long used in traditional remedies throughout Europe. When applied properly, it helps reduce inflammation and soothes overworked muscle tissue. Eleanor's friend Clara, age 74, spends most of her days standing at the local market selling fresh food. She swears by it now because after just a few days of use, the soreness behind her knees disappeared. Now, if your biggest struggle is sleeps, especially if discomfort in your legs keeps you up at night, there's lavender oil. Its scent alone is enough to quiet the mind. But when massaged into the legs, it goes even further, gently relaxing the muscles and calming overactive nerves. Lavender doesn't just help your legs rest, it helps you rest. That's why many people keep it right next to their bed, ready for those nights when their body simply won't settle. And then there's horse chestnut oil, a favorite for those dealing with poor circulation or visible veins. Used widely across Europe, especially in Germany, horse chestnut helps strengthen blood vessel walls and relieve that heavy, dragging feeling in the lower legs. If your ankles tend to swell by evening or your legs often feel like they're just giving up, this might be the oil you've been missing. Now, the good news? You don't have to pick just one. Some people blend a few drops of each oil into a carrier oil like almond or olive oil, then apply it the same way. Others alternate depending on how their legs feel that day. What matters most is listening. Your body is always speaking. These oils just help you hear what it needs and respond with care. But remember, no oil, no matter how powerful, works alone. To truly transform how your legs feel, there are a few simple daily habits that can make all the difference. And we'll walk through those in the next section. Have you ever wondered why some people see results faster than others? Here's the real secret. The oil does its part, but your daily habit complete the picture. Eleanor didn't change her entire life overnight. She didn't join a gym or start taking a dozen new supplements. What she did was far simpler and surprisingly effective. Every morning before breakfast, she took a mindful 10-minute walk around her neighborhood. No pressure, no rush. Just fresh air, steady steps, and a gentle rhythm in her legs. That light movement acted like a pump, boosting circulation and helping the oil sink in deeper and work longer. She also added 3 simple exercises that anyone can do at home. Standing by her kitchen counter, she'd rise onto her toes, then slowly lower herself to strengthen her calves. Sitting in her armchair, she'd stretch one leg at a time to engage her thighs. And whenever she remembered, she made soft ankle circles to keep things moving. It took less than 5 minutes, but the impact? Huge. Her meals didn't change dramatically either. But she started including more foods that support healthy blood flow, like garlic, turmeric, and berries. She also cut back slightly on salt, especially at dinner, which helped reduce swelling in her ankles. Then came the rest. Every afternoon, Eleanor took 15 minutes to elevate her legs, just 2 pillows under her calves as she lay back and breathed. That short break gave her veins a chance to reset and help the swelling melt away. At night, she tucked a soft pillow under her ankles while she slept. Simple changes, but they added up beautifully. And as more people begin this journey, it's natural for questions to come up. So in the next section, we'll take a moment to answer the most common ones clearly and honestly. Before you begin, a few questions may naturally come to mind, and they deserve to be addressed, because the more you understand your own body's needs, the better your results will be. The first question is often, can I still use the oil if I have varicose veins? The answer is yes, but use it gently. If your veins are visible or sensitive, avoid pressing hard during the massage. Use light, upward strokes and don't apply pressure directly on the veins. Elevating your legs afterward makes a big difference. It's a small step, but it enhances the benefits significantly. Next comes, I'm over 80. Will this still work for me? Absolutely. Age doesn't cancel out your body's ability to respond. It may take a little more time, but your skin, muscles, and circulation still listen. We've heard from people in their late 80s, even 90s, who felt stronger, steadier, and more connected after just a few days of gentle care. Another common question, is this only for women? Not at all. Men need this just as much. Poor circulation, cramps, and muscle loss don't play favorites. In fact, many older men who had never tried massage before were surprised by how deeply it helped, not just physically, but emotionally too. You might also wonder, how long should I keep using the oil? There's no strict rule. 7 days is a great starting point. After that, listen to your body. Some people continue daily, others just a few times a week. For many, it becomes a relaxing nighttime ritual, something they genuinely look forward to. And finally, what if I don't feel results right away? That's okay. Everybody responds differently. If your legs have been struggling for years, it may take more than a few days to release the built-up tension. Be consistent. Pair the oil with movement, hydration, and rest. Even small improvements, less swelling, deeper sleep, easier steps are signs that your body is beginning to heal. Before we close, there's one last thing I want to say. Something most people don't hear often enough, but it matters more than you think. We'll talk about that next. Sometimes, We get used to ignoring our bodies. The aches, the slower movements, the changes in shape. Over time, they start to feel normal. And sometimes, we even get frustrated with them. But here's the truth. Your body has never stopped showing up for you. And you deserve care, not to look younger, not to prove anything to anyone, but simply because care is an act of love. And your body, at every age, is worthy of that love. So today, give yourself a quiet moment. Just 5 minutes. Sit down. Warm a few drops of oil in your hands. Breathe slowly. Gently touch your legs as if to say thank you for everything they've carried you through. If this video meant something to you, share it in the comments. We're always listening. And don't forget to subscribe to Health Mastery 365, where you'll find real, natural ways to feel strong, supported, and fully alive in your own body. Until next time, slow down just a little and walk with kindness.